Hey there, and welcome back to The Disconnected. Once again, it is the end of 2021, so I'm putting up some of my best of list, and in this one, we're going to be running down my top single movie releases of the year. And that is going to be starting out tonight with number 20 through 11, and then part 2 is going to be number 10 through 1. The only criteria I had for this is that it could only be one film releases, which did knock some things off of my list. And if you watch my other show, Discovering Cinema on Tuesdays, I did go over all of these previously, and I might go into, some more depth tonight into some of those films, but these are my favorites of the year, and I just wanted to be able to share them with everybody. So let's get into them. Alright, at number 20, from Dread Pictures, I have Benny Loves You. This is a film that is basically the life work of the director. He put many years into getting this made, and it shows. It is such an achievement. It is funny, it is gory, it is splatter heavy, a lot of it is done practically, and it is hilarious. I watched this right after I had some pretty major surgery on my foot, and this kept me sane for basically an entire day because of how much I appreciated this film. It is stone cold, one of what I will say, what I think will be a cult classic someday. This movie is amazing. I've got a plush doll of the Benny. A lot of people of the channel have seen him. He is great, really great, unique character that they made for this. This is a very similar movie to something like Child's Play, but it is a lot more unique than that. It is just so well made, and I hope more people give this the time of day. It has been a little hard to find. It has sold out repeatedly, but I will post a link below if one is available at the moment. If not, keep searching. It is usually only about 15 bucks and well worth that asking price. Number 19 is sort of a neo-noir film that I discovered this year. I don't think I'd ever seen this before, and that is my only pick, I believe, from the Criterion Collection, and that is Deep Cover with Lawrence Fishburne, Jeff Goldblum, and this movie simply blew me away. I love the story in this. I loved how visceral it was at some points. Jeff Goldblum is a goddamn smoke show in this, and Lawrence Fishburne is just badass overall. Everything about this is so well made. The colors in this shine. It's not even a 4K film, but it looks really good. It is very 90s, believe me, but Bill Duke does great with this film. Really well made. Not a ton of extras on here, but that's sort of the criterion as of late. This really only got a part of this list primarily because I love the film so much. I'm really looking for a more cohesive, complete package, and a lot of that is lacking in Criterion lately, but this one, I just really enjoyed the film, and I hope more people watch it because of this release. It is so good. Number 18 for me is from Oscilloscope Labs, and that is Coherence. Coherence is a very similar movie to The Invitation that came out just a few years ago, and this movie, in my opinion, is a little bit better. It is very well acted as a sort of a doppelganger film, but it is just great. It is one of those mindfuck twist movies that just draw you in and really make you just long to hear the overall resolution of the story. And as is the case with a lot of films that are twisty like that, this one doesn't have the resolution that everybody's always looking for, unfortunately. The extras on this are pretty good. We go into some interviews with some of the cast and crew, and you find out that the cast and crew is super bare bones. They kind of filmed this in a handful of nights with no real scripts. The writers just had a sense of where they were going to go that night, and then they fed some of those ideas to the actors and said, action. The movie basically takes place over a dinner party, and there is a supernatural event that occurs, and it just changes things. And I don't really want to say a whole lot more about this, but it is incredible. This release is pretty good. Oscilloscope Labs does a pretty good job with their releases. The digipacks that they put these in, not the highest of quality. It's just a whole lot of cardboard and then the disc in there basically. But it is nice, and it is something that I'm super glad to have, and I hope more people find this because Oscilloscope, they don't get much recognition in the scene at all. But this is a great film. Number 17 is an import. This is from Australia, from the Imprint Films label, and that is the Mothman Prophecies. This is an early 2000s thriller that came out in what I feel is kind of a dead period for horror, and really took some of that silence and made me really fall in love with this movie. I've always liked it, which is really odd for me because I don't love Richard Gere, but he kind of kills it in this movie. The Mothman Prophecies is a really nice, calm thriller. It's an interesting way to say that, I think, but this is finally what this movie deserves. A really good release. The movie comes with an audio commentary, comes with interviews with a whole bunch of people involved. It's got a making of featurette, it's got some music video, stuff like that. Overall, really great. The imprint packaging, I think, is some of the best out there. Just a, standard slipcase. I do love how they have the year of the film on the side, and then, of course, everybody loves that they have numbered spines. But overall, just a great release. And if you are looking for this in the States, if you don't want to import, Orbit DVD and Diabolic both have been carrying all of the imprint titles. Make sure you get your hands on these. Some of these have 0 releases in the States, and this is a great way to pick it up. Number 16 is another import, this time from our neighbors to the north. This is Psycho Gorman, the Hunky Boy edition from Raven Banner Releasing. This is a great release of what obviously has been coined as a new cult classic, and it is worthy of that title. It's a very good movie, but this release just blows everything else that we got in the States out of the water. It comes with the Blu-ray, comes with the DVD, comes with the CD soundtrack. This comes with trading cards. It comes with this nice slipcase. It comes with good alternate artwork on the inside. Just a winner of a release for what is one of the most popular films over the last couple of years. And yeah, obviously many people have seen this, but if you can, get your hands on the Hunky Boy edition of this. It sold out pretty quickly, I think. And yeah, if you see one out in the wild, scoop it up. Okay, number 15 for me is for a film that I have always loved from a company that I keep defending, even though a lot of their stuff is seemingly not living up to some of the potential, but that is Scream Factory's release of Event Horizon. I adore this movie, literally always have. This got a new 4K scan from the original camera negative, and unfortunately they only released it on Blu-ray. I do anticipate they'll probably release a 4K, either Scream Factory or from the studio, in a couple of years, just using that same scan with a new HDR grade. But this release, in the meantime, is just crazy. There are so many special features on this disc. Just to give an overview of what they are real quick, we have an audio commentary with the director and producer, the making of Event Horizon, a 5-part documentary, the point of no return, the filming of Event Horizon, secrets, deleted and extended scenes, the unseen Event Horizon, and then of course theatrical trailer, video trailer, stills, whatnot. Overall, just a great release from Scream Factory, and what I honestly believe is their release of the year, even though they released some other great films like the Halloween 4Ks, but again, those have been released to death, and this is just a brand new awakening of such an achievement of the film. Number 14 is from a Vinegar Syndrome partner label that is called Utopia, and that is Shiva Baby. I have been praising this film all year long. This is one of the best films I discovered this year. It is funny, it is tense, it is awkward, it is everything you want from a movie that you were just sitting down to be entertained by. It is great. The lead actress is super relatable, and the entire family dynamic that they have going on is just so cringy at times, but one of the things that I keep pointing at in this is there are musical cues that are very similar to things out of like Get Out or Us from Jordan Peele, and it ramps up some of the tension as if it's a horror movie, and it is super successful in that, and it is great overall. I understand that this has gotten a lot of praise this year, and the name has gone around quite a few times, but that is because it is genuinely just that good, and I hope that you give this some time. Number 13 is a childhood favorite of mine that I am loving the new life that they breathed into it, and that is Legend. This release overall has a really good book, has posters, has multiple cuts of the film. Arrow Video did a great job restoring this. There was a long Twitter thread sharing why they couldn't release this in 4K, and it makes perfect sense, and I love that they were that transparent about it. So this is probably the best it's ever going to look. Obviously, I adore the movie. We have Tom Cruise, we have Tim Curry doing what is most likely the best screen adaptation of Satan in any film, maybe only second to Constantine, but I've always loved this one, and I really hope that more people get this. This was super cheap during the sales in November, and so I think a lot of people got it in their collection, but not a lot of people seem super excited to watch this. This is a really fun one, and is a very similar tone to like Never-Ending Story and those type of films. So if you were into those as a kid, or just love those adventure type films, Give this one a watch if you haven't yet. It is so worth it. Number 12 is a release that I am shocked exists, I gotta be honest, and that is Ticks in 4K from Vinegar Syndrome. This, first of all, it looks great. It has a great cast. I love this film, always have. Practical effects in this are just really well done. You've got Seth Green, you've got Alfonso Ribeira, you've got some other sporting characters that are great, especially Clint Howard. But this overall presentation from Vinegar Syndrome makes this a great release. It has a slipcase, it has a slip cover, it is a 4K release, which you just don't really expect for a film like this. And there is so many special features on this to make this worthy of this type of release. I mean, we have commentary with the director and Clint Howard, commentary with special effects supervisor and stop motion animator, and it's moderated by Joe Bagos, who did Bliss, so that's really cool. There is Under the Skin, the Making of Ticks, an extended 3-part making of documentary with the director, actors, and special effects supervisor, and a whole bunch of other people involved. It's just a great release. If you don't have Ticks in 4K, this one is so well worth it. And after the old Olive release was going for, you know, $100 plus, this is just a godsend in a time when people were not able to see this film. All right, my number 11 pick and the end of this first part video is one that I've been praising for quite some time, and this is probably my film discovery of the year. Number 11 is Severin Films' Siege. I adore this film, and primarily this is this high up in this just because I think this film is that good. There is an audio commentary on this, but that's really the main special feature, which is sad. But overall, this movie is timely, it is well made, it is captivating, it is well shot. It is such an interesting and compelling story to share that I am shocked this did not have a way bigger reputation before this release. There are so many people online praising this, but I have absolutely been praising this since day one. This one is amazing, top-notch release. If you have not seen Siege, this goes on sale pretty frequently, and it's not that bad of a price for a standard release from Severin. So by all means, please pick this up if you haven't. This is such a fun movie. All right, that is it for part number 1. Tune in soon for part number 2, and give a like to the video, subscribe if you haven't, share with your friends, and I hope to see you for part 2 for the video. As I always say, from one collector to all of you, have a good night.